So here is my video for my 38 weeks and 2 days on testosterone. That is 268 days. So before I talk about anything, let me talk about the response that I got to my last video. Okay. So many people said so many nice things. I was dying. I'm still dying. I'm dying! In a good way. Just the amount of support and love that I got from the YouTube people was so amazing and unexpected. Like, seriously. I was blown away. And the coolest thing is, I made this video and then someone commented saying, hey, I'm gonna be there on June 1st. And so now there's a trans guy who had surgery from Garamoni who's gonna be there with me the day of. It's the power of the internet, the YouTube community. It's really, 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 really amazing. I'm so touched, really, honestly. And you know what? I am going to put up a tiny chat that day, not only for YouTube people, but also for all of my friends and family back home who aren't going to be there, who will just want to talk to me when I'm, like, on drugs. That idea is a go. And thank you. Thank you to everyone who commented, sent me a message, sent me a Facebook message. There were messages coming from, like, all directions. You guys are honestly amazing. You're so good to me. Anyway, since in my last video I was kind of down, I decided I would talk about something that made me happy in this video. So no, this video isn't going to be about what hormones have done to me. I'm really bad at making those kind of updates. What I am going to talk about is the first time that I experienced being accepted as one of the guys. So I'm just going to straight up tell you guys a story about my life here. So it was like my senior year in high school. I had this group of guy friends that I'd been friends with since like my sophomore year, but I ended up coming out to them in my senior year. And since we were friends and I played rugby, they wanted to start playing rugby. So before the rugby season actually started, they wanted to play some like pickup games. My two closest friends in this group was this pair of twins. They had this class with me, computer graphics, if you wanted to know. And one of them came up to me one day and he was like, hey, we're gonna get a group together and we're gonna play rugby after school, are you in? You can like teach us the rules and stuff. I could have like started doing cartwheels right there, if I knew how to do cartwheels, which I don't. Is that an important skill to have, doing cartwheels? I can't do them, or whistle. I'm so deprived. So we decided we were gonna do it like that Thursday, and two of the guys that were gonna play with us were like these military guys, and the twins are these like fucking huge like giants. There were some other guys who were just like super into sport. They all had like six-pack, and there was like little old me. And the time that they invited me to this was like right after I came out to them. So I was like, oh, this is my initiation into the boy world. And it was clear that this was a no girls allowed event. So obviously I was like so nervous about this. I was like, I'm gonna have to prove myself. This is the time. I got so nervous about like how I was gonna hold up to all these like sporty macho guys that I thought about calling them and being like, oh, I have too much homework, I can't go. But then I was like, no, this is what I've been waiting for so long. It's what I've wanted like my entire life, to have this connection with dudes and just do doodly things with them, like sports in the mud. And most of these guys I knew fairly well, sort of, so I was feeling kind of comfortable around some of them, but then like half of them I'd barely spoken to ever, and I'm like, I'm so nervous. So I was dead set on going, and then the day came, and everything that happened was just so surreal to me, because this was my first time being in this completely male setting where everyone seemed to just take me as male and not like try and belittle me or anything like that. And I had just come out to these people, and some of them I hadn't come out to at all because I barely knew them, but my friends had like told them or whatever. They didn't even get the pronouns completely right, but it was obvious that they were not treating me like a girl at all. So the group of us decided that we wanted to use one of the school's fields to play rugby on, because it's not like any of us had a field at our house. And we were not allowed to do that. Only school teams are allowed to use the school fields. But we were gonna do it anyway. We ripped the fuck out of the field. Like, we were just like slamming into the ground and just like digging up all the grass. But when we like first got there, we were like missing a ball or something, I'm not quite sure, but someone had to run back to their house to get something, and we had to wait for them. We sat on top of the dugout at the baseball field, and like the sun was setting, and we were just like talking like a bunch of guys. It wasn't even manly subjects. We weren't talking about sports or girls or whatever. It was just like chit-chat, but it was so man-on-man action. But it was really nice not to be talking to someone and have them be censoring their speech. And everyone knows that guys censor their speech around women, and they weren't. Because when we were playing rugby, there's this thing that they would do, like if they scored or whatever. Their like celebratory ritual was like to do this. They don't do that around girls. They did it around me. And rugby is a full contact sport, and it was so awesome to just have one of them come and just like destroy me. The twins, a bajillion feet tall, big guys, big muscles, and if I'd have the ball, they would just come and they would just like leap completely airborne and just like slam me into the ground. There was like lots of dents in the field like, of my body. And one of the military guys was actually pretty small. He's really fit, but he's small. So I could just like take him out so easily. It's really interesting, contact sports with guys, when everyone has always said, you know, that's an unacceptable thing. Every single person was really awesome, and they weren't too accepting. They just didn't give two fucks what kind of boy I was. We were just playing around. Like, why does anything matter other than whatever we were doing at the time? But since I was so new to this whole world, they noticed that I wasn't completely adapted to these social norms of men. Like this whole thing, whenever they would do it, I would just stand there and giggle. They ended up coming around me. They did like the huddle. They had like their arms around my shoulders, and they said, you gotta do this. When something good happens, you gotta do that. They said, try it now. And it was like embarrassing, but hilarious. And they were teasing me, but not because I wasn't man enough, but just because they were teasing me. I think I did end up doing this, and it was awkward, and they laughed, and it was like, ha ha ha, then we were like back to rugby. The whole day was just so cool for me. We were using a field we weren't allowed to use. I was with all these guys playing contact sports and getting like the shit beat out of me. Like meeting new guys and having these manly first impressions. Having a conversation on top of the dugout of a baseball field. It was all just cool. And since then, we hang out all the time. We play rugby, we play laser tag, we have like movie nights and game nights and whatever. They make me feel so much like a man. This is the only group of people who I've been, okay, ready for this? I've been shirtless around them, completely shirtless. They were all shirtless, we were playing video games. There may have been some substances involved, but they were all dogpiling and shirtless, and I was just kind of chilling there in my shirt, and they said, you're a guy, like, take your shirt off, what are you doing? So I did. That was interesting. But I was fine with it because they were so just... They're some cool dudes. The world has many cool dudes in it. Anyway, there's a story. Kind of long-winded. I like talking about myself, apparently. Today on FTM Transtastic, I will be making my Thursday video about how to come out. So go check that out. And hey, I just made it to 400 subscribers, so that's pretty cool. Pretty cool. And if anyone has any stories about times when they were completely accepted by some buddies, I would like to hear them, because those stories just make me feel all warm and fuzzy inside. I'm really leaving now. Goodbye.